and you gonna murder this one and murder that one. Talking all that bullshit. I'm gonna put it to you like this, yo.
This is for the nerds, this is for the brainiacs, this what we deserve. Go ahead and play it back, you ain't gonna touch me, you not gonna do nothing, you are not above me, I bet you wish you was me, I know it, I know.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to a chilly episode of the Only Friends podcast. This is what happens whenever you let fucking LaManna control the goddamn AC.
What are you talking about?
Listen,
I'm hot. I'm sweat. I have pants on. I have a very thin hoodie, a beautiful hoodie.
By the way, not to go unnoticed, the entire comment section has moved on from Landon. Everybody's so happy with your glow up. I just want to throw that out there. You've been doing great.
What have I done?
They're so sick of seeing your fucking legs.
I have pants on.
I know. I'm drawing attention to it.
Listen, guys. It's been literally 115 degrees for the last. That's an exaggeration, but it's been over 100 degrees for the last 8 months. I don't know. Go run, give or take. And I'm not wearing pants because Berkey likes to turn the AC off in here, as you see, right?
I'm dressing warmer.
Okay, if you dress like that. And then I just wear shorts and a t-shirt, and we blow the AC. We'll both be comfortable.
Okay.
It's wee wee hot outside. Is what I'm hearing from Brian.
Okay. First, I was gonna say thank you. This is fire.
Yeah,
okay.
Is
it?
I'm hunting wabbits.
It looks like a quilt.
It does look like you put.
I don't care what it looks like.
Put a giant blanket on.
You got to start asking Instagram for the fit check.
This is my Sherpa. Secondly, I, for one, Brian, would like you to go back to the shorts. I see what you're doing out there, okay?
Brian's got
great legs.
He does.
I mean, he's been fucking grinding the P90X calf raises.
Calf X.
Yeah, he's on calf X every day. You know, the rest of them looks like a pile of mashed potatoes, but that's not
easy.
That's neither here nor there.
Listen,
what's wrong with you,
last
man?
month or two has been, a little.
Oh, he's too complacent.
I was off it for a little bit. But I'm back on it. I worked out today, yesterday, day before. Been eating pretty good.
What a good time to get off of it right before the holidays.
I'm good. Yeah. Listen, that's not an excuse. That's the thing. People are like, oh, it's gonna be the holidays. Like no,
not for the tort.
Not for the tort.
Like he's a settled down individual.
If you find an excuse, you always find an excuse.
What was yours the past 2 months?
Huh? It was too hot outside.
Is it P90X inside?
What did Coach Itch used to tell you? If you're thinking about quitting today, just wait till tomorrow.
Yeah.
And then tomorrow becomes today.
It's like the BoJack Horseman guy.
You can't quit today or something like that.
Like,
I don't know.
It always gets easier, but you got to do it every day.
That's right. Every single day. Just like this podcast, as a matter of fact.
Does it get easier?
It is.
I think this gets easier.
I don't know. We didn't have the sound on for the first 5 minutes.
Listen,
I fucking hate you guys.
You don't got to do that.
Hate you guys so much.
You don't got to do that.
Yay.
Listen, embarrassed and humbled. That's what happened just before the show got started. 3 minutes in, Brian says, "Hey, I can't hear anything in my headphones." I go, "All right, well, let me take a look or whatever."
Guapa just starts talking louder in the mic.
He says, "Well, is it turned on? Like, is the system turned on?" And I get real snappy with Brian. I'm like, "Yeah, like, you think I'm a fucking idiot?" And then Matt walks over and turns the switch on.
Clicks the switch and I'm like, hey, it's working.
That'd be really good if we gaslit him though and it wasn't actually working.
I know what the equipment sounds like when it's off. And that's what it was.
Let's not focus on what went wrong. Let's focus on what went right. He has wonderful tech support well within these walls. You know, we keep it moving. That's how this works.
Keep it pushing.
Yep.
Berkey
from IT.
It goes up and down.
I'm way more equipped to be the IT manager than I am to be the actual owner and operator of this business. That's for sure. All right, we have a great show for you guys. Marc Goone is going to be calling in the second half of the show. We're going to kick things off with our Weekend Warriors. But before we get to that, I would be remiss if I didn't follow up with our NAPT Gold Pass giveaway. So there are some new details that I did not know I was privy to tell you guys. You're not only competing for a gold pass, which is worth $10,000, including a $5,300 buy-in to the main event at the NAPT in Las Vegas, Nevada at Resorts World, but also a 7-day stay at Resorts World. Wonderful location if you haven't been there.
Beautiful.
It's fucking incredible. And $1,800 in travel expense that you get in cold hard cash whenever you show up to Vegas. But wait, there's more.
Wow.
You also will have the opportunity, cue the graphic, to try out for the big game on tour. So anyone who wins a Gold Pass will have the opportunity to be the next loose cannon. And I don't know how true it is, but I hear that the loose cannon is going to be spectacular this year. We already heard that Gronk is announced. We know Nick Wright is playing. It sounds as though there's going to be at least 2 days of filming, so probably going to have 2 loose cannons again.
Has Gronk been deep in those Sims, or
I'm going to bet no. I'm gonna wager $1 or $2 and say you might want to play with the Gronkowski.
I was gonna say by Gronk we mean Rob Gronkowski, former Patriot. And Tampa Bay Buccaneer.
That's pretty sick, huh? Getting to play poker with Gronk.
Fingers crossed we get in there, boys. Fingers
You got
crossed.
a chance.
I'm going to be a loose cannon in a totally different manner. Like, I'm going to be the
You're
Alan
just going to be
Keating.
loose.
Yeah. Well, I lived the life
You're
of
just
a
the
loose
animal on
cannon.
the
So,
loose.
so what you're saying is you could just be fucking around watching our podcast, following us on socials.
That's
and
right.
then all of a sudden you're playing in the main event of the NAPT, North American Poker Tour, if you're nasty. and then you get to fuck around in the loose cannon game.
Possibly, yeah.
Yeah, with $50,000 free dollars you just throw around.
Yes, so...
Well, you don't get to keep the $50,000. You get to keep whatever you win.
no,
But
you get to gamble with it,
You
which
get
is
to
even
gamble
better.
with $50,000 against crazy people
By
like
the
Gronk
way,
and you.
maybe
you.
I know
We're
this is
trying
a
to
bit of a
advocate
side
for you.
tangent. But I think we should do this as well at some point in time. And we're going to need some sponsorship. So Aria, Bellagio, if you guys are listening, get at me. We need to do a loose cannon gambling tour where you just
Come to Bobby's room.
you get to choose 10 pit games.
Okay.
And you have a $10,000 bankroll.
Oh my God.
And you get to run it up or dust it.
Wow.
I want to be there for that. I want the cameras rolling.
Are they allowed to play in Bobby's room if they want?
Yeah, if they want.
Like they can just do whatever they want with the 10K. They
but
get like a day to do it.
I mean, we got to Hawkeye them. We're not going to let them just pocket this fucking 10,000.
Right.
They're not going to go wash it. These aren't promotional chips.
No.
But yeah, I like this idea. But going back to that, that is the structure of the loose cannon. So they give you a $50,000 buy-in. You get to play. I can't remember how many hands it is. I think it's 150 or 250 hands. And anything that you have as profit at the end is yours to keep. So it's a massive opportunity, of course, and one in which we're going to give you the chance to be a part of this. So if you want to win a gold pass, head to @onlyfriends_pod. We already have 2 clues out. The first one, I don't know if Papa still has it up, but yeah, it's a picture of Las Vegas, kind of encapsulated, if you will. Just stick a pin in that one. You'll be able to come back to it. This is clue number 2, and I'm going to give you a little hint as far as what to take away from this clue. Now, it's obvious that's a crab and an octopus.
That's right.
There is a poker content creator, we'll call him, out of Los Angeles, who did some commentary for Live at the Bike. And
this is Octocrab.
that's correct. Well,
Yeah.
I was just going to lead them down that direction, but sure.
When I saw that immediately, that's exactly what I thought. But I was like, I don't know if I should say that or not. But
No,
Landon
it's totally
just said,
fine.
you know
Yeah.
what? Octocrab.
So shout out to Cairo, who nicknamed it the Octocrab. Now, what's very important about this?
Great hand.
What's very important about this clue, as well as all of our clues, is that they are sequential. So bear in mind, they are sequential. So is it the Octocrab or is it the Crag Opto?
That's what I was going to say. I was going to say, shouldn't the octopus be in front of the crab for Octocrab?
Maybe things
It
are
should.
intentional. Maybe they're not. We don't know.
It should.
Well,
if
we
that's
do
what-
know.
If that's what we're trying to grab.
This is
So
what we're saying right now. Is
we
we do
know.
know.
So just bear in mind, everything in this, it will all be sequential. It all reads left to right. It all goes in a progressive order. So for anybody trying to follow along at home, that's your hint.
It
of
all
the
ends
day.
in heartbreak.
It's all connected, baby.
Always
It's all connected.
Yes.
All right, we have a special treat for you guys who are willing to bear through the sports ball talk. It's Weekend Warrior time, and we have a guest. Go ahead and roll it.
Let's go!
All right. The one and only Conrad Simpson is out of town today, so I'm going to fill in for the weekend. Oh, wait, am I? Perhaps.
It's poppin', squad.
Oh, no.
Oh my God! There he is,
good, guys. How's everybody out there?
Hey, Connie. How's Reno?
It's chilling. You know, having some
What are
fun.
you, staying in an Econo Lodge?
Yo, let me ask you a question.
You took your Hawaiian shirt off?
Why are you giving them so many clues, bro? What's wrong with you?
Well, I want someone to win. See, here's the other thing. I'm glad you brought that up, because here's the other caveat that I forgot to say. We have to give this seat away by the 21st. So initially I said we were going to give it away Friday the 25th, but now it's Monday the 21st. So we'll be putting out 3 clues next week. Monday, Wednesday, Friday. The final clue will be next Friday, and then we'll do the giveaway the following Monday. So you guys better be paying close attention. I'm going to continue to give you hints. And if we don't have a winner on Monday, I'm keeping the fucking thing.
So, Burke, let me just ask you a quick question. Is it possible for someone to win before the final clue? You think they're going to have to? Okay, they're going to need that final clue.
You need the final clue.
Okay, cool.
There's
all right.
no guessing
Enough
ahead.
of the bullshit.
Okay.
Let's get into it. It's Weekend Warrior time.
It's time.
Burke, what's poppin'? What you got for us?
All right. I went with a clear winner. If I've ever seen one.
My brother.
Shout out to Jeff Platt, man.
I mean,
the switch over to DraftKings and letting me do the same game parlays. Like you guys you're buried. You're just buried. It's all over. I missed it by one fucking yard.
Same game parlays on Pinnacle?
Oh, please, come on, brother. I'm able to middle the game here.
You're cooked.
What are we talking
You're
about?
so cooked.
I'm ready. I'm ready to accept my throne of victory where I deserve. I missed it by 1 yard last week. All we needed was that Steeler defense to hold, and I scoop the $3,800 parlay. But no, it wasn't to be. So this week, we're on it. We got the Steelers -3.
That's a winner.
That's a lock.
Yeah.
Brian and I are going to the game. It's here in Las Vegas. We went last year. Fucking lock of the century of the week.
Yeah.
That in and of itself, I probably should just put the whole roll on. But you know what?
Okay, Conrad.
I'm not irresponsible like Conrad. Thank you, Landon.
Right, you're instead putting a +6
this
game.
Has an 8-teamer. He literally fucking went on this Kelly Criterion stupid fucking ramble the other day, and then he comes back with the same game 8-teamer. Literally 4 days later. It's a special type of dumb.
It really, man, honestly, that was my favorite Conrad comment of all time, is you're dumb like the special type. You say things and then jump on the wagon.
It's a 6-teamer, okay? And it's a fucking lock.
It's not a 6-teamer. It's a 1-gamer.
It's a lock. For anybody out there who has access to DraftKings, put this bet in and I'll take half. All right?
Careful.
I'll take half.
Careful.
Just let me send me the fucking receipt, buddy. I just want to make sure we can cash this one in because it's a lock. Raiders.
Oh, no.
Okay, so I got the Steelers -3.5. I also have the Raiders +16.5. Okay,
land right in that
so we're
middle.
just gonna land in the middle.
Nice little soft landing.
The Steelers need to win by 4 or 16. Anything in between, we scoop that one. All right, we got another. We got 4 more parts of this parlay. Over 0.5 interceptions for O'Connell. I don't even know his first name. Is it Aiden? Aiden O'Connell. Okay. Down bad backup who, God bless, they took the mustache out.
Hey, man, O'Connell's like decent.
Yeah, he's going to fucking cook all right. We're going to see. All right. Definitely getting the interception. This one also for sure going to happen. This is where I get a little worried because I'm afraid after all the interceptions, they might pull them. And this might be what fucks me. But I also have O'Connell over 150 yards passing because obviously they're going to be behind the whole game.
Right.
So that's no problem.
Right.
We got Fields over 150 yards passing. He's going to get that just in two downfield throws to Pickens, I'm sure.
Right.
275 yarders. Boom. We got it. And then finally, to round it all off, I was a little worried about this one, but I was like, you know what? They don't trust Najee anymore. He's just taking it at the goal line. We got Justin Fields in an anytime touchdown, which means that he has to get a rushing touchdown.
It means he needs to get. So if he throws one, doesn't count?
Doesn't count.
You're so cooked, my brother. You're so cooked.
Unless he throws it hits off of somebody, he catches it and runs in.
Brother,
Right.
you're cooked.
I don't know what you're
The only
talking
thing
about.
that I realize is Berkey's lucky that they don't have DraftKings prop bets in Nevada, or he would be in rehab.
I might be. This is so much fun, and I'm taking it so seriously for free money.
You're so cooked. Man.
$97 to win $1,236. Just put me atop of the leaderboard next week, boys.
We'll put you in the slaughterhouse.
Well, Burke, one of those downfield, passes to Pickens is going to be an end zone touchdown
Okay.
throw.
Okay, I like where you're going with this.
So I went ahead and I took George Pickens anytime touchdown for I think 50 to win one. No, wait, is that what I did? Yeah,
50 to win 127.
Anytime touchdown, yeah, 50 to win 127.
Okay, I got to tell you, I like your side a little bit better because
I went.
he can catch it, he can throw it. Well, he can't throw it, but he can catch it, he can run it.
He can catch it, he can run it. He can do an end around,
Scoop and score.
Jet sweep, Steeler special.
This feels like do theory to me. Do you think?
Well, this is definitely do theory, and the theory is sound. Okay, the theory. listen. This is what happens, right? Pickens he's not good for the team, and he's being selfish, and they're gonna bench him. Blah blah blah.
This is the breakout
all
week.
This shit.
Yeah.
I wish I could have bet that he had 3 touchdowns.
Agreed.
You're cooked. You're cooked.
He's gonna have one hell of a game, and which is gonna lock up your 150 yards
Brian's
for
gonna be there to
sure.
see it.
He might have 150 yards himself. Definitely getting in the end zone.
I'm so excited to bring you guys behind the scenes footage of how blacked out drunk LaManna gets at this game.
I'm gonna start drinking now for the game.
I'm so pumped. You guys are in for a treat on Monday, boys.
You're driving, right?
I'm driving.
All right, let's go.
Let's go.
Y'all are cooked.
Speaking of cooked,
Landon, what you working with?
All right, go Birds, baby. I've gone off the Fins. I'm on the Birds. I went Birds minus 9.5. Birds are going to cook. Saquon higher, 125 total yards rushing, receiving, and anytime touchdown.
Yeah.
Saquon season. This is
now
100 to win 350.
We're all going to be fucking Gamblers Anonymous together once
Well,
profits.
that's obvious, Conrad. And if nothing makes it more obvious, it's that the thing that we were afraid might happen last week actually came true, where Guapo was the big winner of the week at plus $17. Congratulations, Guapo. You fucking did it, baby.
God, I can't believe this shit.
Guapo's got Tatsuro Taira.
$14 to win 36 cents.
He actually got a 7x multiplier on his bet last week because we're all so fucking dull.
Hey, man, I thought the Panthers were going to cook, but Andy Dalton, he's regressed. Brian called it. Brian said it. Yeah. He said Andy Dalton's not this guy.
Regressing
he might
to the mean, man.
He might not be that guy.
All right, what fixed fight are you betting this week, Guapo?
The fixed fight I am taking is Tatsuro Taira. I think I'm saying that correctly. He is the Japanese juggernaut flyweight, undefeated. He is a minus 300 this weekend, and hopefully should be no problem.
So Guapo's trying to get $16.
17, I think.
Don't cheat me out of my
$16
and 70.
Once again,
67 cents.
Once again, Guapo might be the winner of the week with his $17 win.
He's just
The
trying
only
to
person that he's
remain atop
fighting
the.
is fucking Brian.
That's true.
I was gonna say
No, Hunt won. Hunt won this week.
Hunt won this
Guapo
week.
cannot win
Sweet.
the bet of the week.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, Hunt finally on the board.
Hunt
This his
is
first
on the
win?
board. He has someone in India playing
So
someone in West
He had a whole
Nile.
bunch of cricket
Hold
people.
on. He started
There it
betting
is.
women's cricket. My
Okay,
man's the women's
smart.
cricket king.
Okay, so he went with Australia over Pakistan on the money line, and he parlayed it with Bangladesh versus West Indies, where he took West Indies on the money line, and he scooped this $50 to win 157.
So
He's back on the plus.
He won $107.
This spells really bad news for Hanks. It's
Hank's working
probably
with
time.
something this week.
The Hanksy hustle is cooked.
Hanks is working with something this week. I seen it. It just came in. Hanks is working with the Texans -2,
Correct.
the Bucks +2,
Okay.
the Eagles -4,
Yeah.
and the Steelers +2. I don't hate
Okay.
it. I don't hate it. He might.
Oh,
He might
he
get
loves
off
these-
Those
the
wraparound
snide.
like
Brother.
He loves these teasers, man.
Brother, man. Hanksy and the tantalizing teasers are about to
Ephra's going to be back in the chat again, being like, "Why is he teasing the Steelers from -3 to +2?"
Let's go Giants.
I think at some point we need to just like have Efro call in and
Yeah.
grade all of our picks.
Right.
Like maybe the following Monday he just does a 5-minute call where he's just like F
yeah.
F in the chat, F in the chat.
I don't know, man.
And speaking of Ephro, congratulations to Ephro and his Mets. They're moving on today.
Miracle
No,
Mets,
NLCS.
I want to hear what's wrong with taking the Eagles and Saquon.
Nothing, man. Nothing. You're cooking.
No, you're
You
good.
think so? Good.
No, you're cooked.
You think so?
Yeah, you're cooked.
Why? The Browns can't play defense. They
They're
can't
bad.
score.
Well, they can play defense.
They can play defense. They just can't score.
Yeah.
I
They
love
had
how
the best
everyone
defense in the league
justifies
last
their
year.
picks in here as if like a bunch of like studied professionals who run
That's
all these
All I
simulations
do
are like,
is
oh,
all I
That's
do is
the
study.
big
missed it.
guapo.
we missed it. We missed that one.
We are weekend warriors.
Saquon's good at football. Give him the ball and let him cook.
Efro said, I was literally just typing that in and then I shook my head and walked away.
I want to hear you, Efro. Put it in the chat. Put it in the chat right now why I'm cooked.
What do you got, Conrad?
Well, hold on, my boy Jeff Platt. He's coming in with the Cal Golden Bears +3.
I'm tired of him betting college football.
Yeah.
He's betting 440 to win 400 against your squad, or not your squad. But
No.
he should be your squad, but you know
Pitt?
they're playing the Pittsburgh Panthers.
Pitt's good this year.
Vamos,
Yeah.
Pantera.
I wouldn't say they're good. They have a good quarterback, and they haven't really played anybody too strong yet. But we'll find out. We'll find out.
And for real, the same game parlay of the week, or I should say the parlay of the week, because it's not the whole same game. I'm cooking here. I put my apron on. I put my chef's hat on. You know what I mean? I got in the kitchen. I started whipping shit up. I'm taking the Washington Redskins over 30.5 points. Over 30.5.
Wait. So
Higher.
just the Redskins have to score more. They have to score 31 points.
Just the Redskins over 30.5.
The Commanders.
I'm sorry.
Commanders.
You're cooked.
Excuse me.
You're cooked.
You took the Commanders over 31
Higher.
points against
Over
the Ravens?
The Ravens don't have that
Yes.
great of a defense this year.
The Ravens don't have defense,
it's down.
and,
It's down.
Jaden Daniels is just going to keep up with them. So
Yeah.
that's number one. I also took, because they're not only going to keep up with them, they're going to blow them out. I got the Commanders -5.5. I took a line that was +7, and I moved it to -5.5.
Oh, yeah. I remember seeing this. I was like, you're telling me you moved a line 12.5 points in the wrong direction?
What the
Straight cooking,
fuck
baby.
are
I
they
told
putting
you,
in
I
the
put my apron
water
for
up
this one.
there in
I was sewn
Reno?
up. I had my cooking day, you know what I mean?
He has
And
parasites
last
in
but
his
not least,
brain.
in my parlay, I got the Houston Texans -6.5. And we're betting 100 to win 16, you know, quick, easy money.
$100 to win 1,600. Wait, you can't laugh. Yours is close enough to the same idea.
No way.
Honestly, no.
Come
do
on,
you
man.
mean?
I'm
I
just
know.
trying to
Thank you.
middle the game and have the quarterbacks do their thing.
Listen, obviously Berkey's is not as bad because it's only +1,200 and his is +1,600. So, but it's it's the
Hey,
same
man,
ballpark.
I'm looking at the
Mine's all
chat.
working together. It's cooking.
Efro's saying that I'm cooking.
Okay. Landon got the sharp approval.
Okay, you're cooking. What's he saying about Conrad?
Straight money,
I think that's
baby.
when he shook his head and walked away.
I like how Conrad goes, and I also threw Houston in. Like anyone cares at that point. Burn the ticket. It
CJ
doesn't matter.
Conrad's just going to look at us like this after he wins.
Burn
though.
the
He's gonna be like
ticket.
this.
I need to go back and add Jaden Daniels over 100 yards plus 1,100.
Higher.
Imagine
Listen,
if
Yeah,
he
100 yards
actually
on the ground.
scoops the Washington game and gets fucked by Houston.
yeah, like they just went
honestly, I had a feeling that was
35-17
gonna
and then
happen when I was
Houston
putting it
loses.
in. I was like, yeah, whatever. This is
Oh
life.
man, Conrad, I appreciate the comedy
Hey,
you bring to
Conrad,
this show.
for what it's worth, I'm not fully with you, but I'm kind of with you because I was telling these guys, because we're contemplating who we're going to take in Circa, and Baltimore is one of the teams, and I just I said I don't know. I mean, I was like, the Angels is so good, Washington is a lot better than people think, and that game scares me. So I don't think they're
have a
gonna
real feeling
put up
that Washington comes
30.
out and proves a point. I think
Here's
they
what
prove
I
a
don't
point
want to
this
have
week.
happen. So now that we've transitioned to Survivor, we have one team left. There's 220 people left.
We talked about last week.
We have a
221.
choice. No, we talked a lot about last week. We have a choice this week. It's between basically Philly and Baltimore. Those are the two
Go Birds.
big decisions here, and we're torn. And what I don't want to have happen,
Which birds, though, Brian?
what I don't want to have happen is to have all of my fucking Survivor teams eliminated by an AFC North team. The Bengals just
They fucked us.
ran roughshod through all fucking 9 of my other entries over the first 3 weeks. It's like every week we had some exposure to the Bengals, and every week we went home with tears in our eyes. And now all of a
Fuck
sudden
me
it's
to
gonna
tears.
now the last of it's just gonna be Baltimore against a Washington team that I think might actually be pretty fucking good.
So now you know better
Yeah.
than Vegas?
No, I don't. That's why I'm still contemplating.
Yeah.
So
Hey,
here we
man,
are.
your logic for the birds, the Eagles, makes sense.
Yeah, thank you.
Your logic, but if we don't think it's going to last as long as it does in previous years, we should take the Ravens.
Yeah,
There's a little bit more edge there, a little bit more gambly.
I truly don't know.
But remember, Conrad is on the Commanders.
Yeah.
So ultimate top signal Conrad would say we should go with the Ravens.
That actually is very valid.
And he didn't just take the Commanders.
You're just drawing a picture for yourself. Because if Baltimore loses this weekend, it's your ass.
This is where Daniels regresses to the mean and they score 0 points.
He chose higher than 30.
Like a piggy.
Higher than 30.5 points
They're
against
gonna
the
score
Ravens.
0. They're gonna get shut out.
Remember, he also took the Texans, so we don't want them, and we can't even pick them anymore.
Right.
So
Well,
Texans,
we actually are against the Texans because
By default.
the field will have a fair amount of exposure.
the Texans are playing who?
Bengals maybe.
No way. It's not Texans minus 6.5 against the Bengals. That's nuts.
Yeah, maybe not the Bengals. I don't know.
No,
they have a good
they're not
matchup.
playing the Bengals. I wouldn't
They have a
bet
plus
against
matchup,
the
whatever
Bengals.
it is.
Yeah.
Maybe the Colts. I don't remember.
I got it right here.
I just knew it was
New
plus
England.
matchup. Oh,
playing-
New England.
At New England. At New England.
Well, here we are. We're in
The
the
Patriots-
Era,
the
we're in the
Patriots can't
area
score.
where we're in the era where we're rooting for the Patriots. Who knew?
Yeah. So I think if we don't think it's going to last that long, I think the Ravens might be a little bit higher EV.
I don't listen.
Because the picks for the Ravens are later in this season.
But like, when we say we don't think it's going to last that long, it's like it's impossible to project.
Yeah.
Like what's not that long? It goes 18 slates instead of 20. It goes 12 instead of 20. Like who knows? Tough to say.
Right. If we don't know, isn't it better to just
Front load?
yes?
I
I
don't
mean, if
think
you
so.
just have, if you have like, for a few weeks of chalk just winning, and then you're like back on track to where you were last year or something like that.
Yeah.
So-
right,
We might
right,
just
yeah.
have a chalk off at the end where we're just like chalking off with other teams, like last 3 weeks or something like that along those lines.
Not us. We use
Not
all our
us. Yeah.
chalk.
Sure.
That's the point. That's the.
We got
it all
Steelers
comes down
on
to-
we got Steelers on Christmas, baby. Let's go.
God, nothing would make me happier than we're just playing for 14 million on the Steelers beating the Chiefs.
Merry fucking Christmas.
It all ends in heartbreak at that point.
I wouldn't hedge a fucking penny, and my weekend warrior pick would be all in on that game. Let it ride, boys. We're 1 of 1 here. No one else has them.
You've learned nothing, Jon Snow.
You've learned nothing. All right, Conrad, thank you so much for calling in. How's Reno treating you?
It's cool. It's cool. I love it out here.
Yeah.
Sounds like he's getting wrecked. Sounds like he's getting
Getting
wrecked.
wrecked. Getting fucking wrecked.
That's how you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All
All right, see you, Connie. Good luck.
I love Reno so much. They're so good to me here. I'm 0 for 5. When will it end?
Goodbye, Conrad. Goodbye. Wow, I don't know what that fade out was. That was nice.
Yeah. Just as nice as his Redskins.
He just got like sucked up to like heaven or something.
Yeah.
He took 12.5 points the other way.
It's really remarkable.
They're not just gonna win. They're gonna win like 35-18.
Honestly, it's sharp.
I want to live in the timeline where he gets it right.
It's kind of sharp because if you're gonna say they're gonna score 31 points, then you might as well just take them to win by 6 because they probably will.
Yeah,
if one happens, the other one will probably happen as well.
Yeah, it's the choice of the 31 and a half.
Should we let them do
points.
that? Is that too correlated?
We're gonna let him do that one. We're gonna let him have that one.
That one away
If you want the Commanders minus when they're a +7, you got us.
Yeah, you know what, buddy? Have at it.
Godspeed.
Have at it. All right, we are now out of the sports ball era, and we're gonna move right into the poker discussion. Hopefully, this is what you guys all signed up for today. I know our Fridays have been a little bit drab because we're avid NFL fans, and that's all we fucking talk about. But not today. No. Today we're joined by a very esteemed guest. You might know him from HCL. You might know him from
He's checked out. Hopefully, he's coming back in.
He left.
He was in our waiting room and he has departed.
Oh no.
And he's gone.
Oh, and he's gone.
Come back, Marc Goone.
That's all right.
Let me text him.
More sports ball.
Yeah. Hey man, I was right. I was right about the Jags. I told you.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is great. It's so bad. I've never actually met him, and now I'm about to take liberties on air. But I trust that he's okay with it. He goes, "Do I have time to poop?" Yeah. Just go ahead. Would rather you don't pinch this one off.
That's right.
Take your time. As a matter of fact, make sure you wash your hands after.
we
All
can
right,
really
then
talk-
can I throw a tangent into the mix? real
Yeah,
quick?
please, by all means.
So when I was getting beat up last week about my pick, you mentioned something about Kelly Criterion. I'm not real familiar with what this is and how it works.
Who's
Okay.
Kelly and what does he do?
Right. He has a
But I remember
criteria.
you saying something about what I should actually be betting on my bet if I'm a minus, I think I was like a minus 400 favorite or something.
Yeah, I was saying,
I can't remember what I was.
I was saying
right around 3.
that your risk tolerance should be very high for a favorite like that.
Right. So if my bankroll was $1,600 at the time, according to Kelly Criterion,
probably like 40% of it.
So
If I had to
40%
guess?
of my entire bankroll should be on that bet.
I'm just guessing.
So
I
again,
don't.
it's hard for me. It's hard for me to challenge you on this because I don't know how
you
that
can just
works.
Google it.
I don't know the model.
Just Google it. You can punch it in.
I would assume that 2% is actually probably the highest you would ever want to go. Like, so if my bankroll's $1,600, someone help me out. What, like $32 would be the biggest bet that I could make?
No way. Why?
Yeah, betting more than 2% of your bankroll on anything, if you're betting as a professional sports bettor, is considered pretty high risk.
Then maybe I'm like way overshooting it with 40, but I'm certain that like if you're betting a massive favorite like that, assuming that you're getting like vig free lines, which obviously that's what we should be doing here because we're not paying the house anything.
Yeah. So that's what I'm challenging is that I think you're wrong. And I think 2% is like probably the highest I should be betting. Maybe 3, I
mean,
guess.
here, we can do it really easily. Here's a Kelly Criteria calculator, gambling bankroll.
Can you share your screen?
Sure. Maybe.
That's why Matt put $97 instead of $100. Kelly said to do that, even though it's an absolute lock of the century of the week.
I'm definitely not doing anything anything by the books here. I'm going straight off feel, baby.
Real sharp guy.
Did you see that 6-teamer? Come on,
It's not a 6-teamer. It's a one-gamer.
That's nothing but heart right there. That's straight up.
You shouldn't
heart.
want to throw in a different team for the spread just because.
That's a I'm going to the game this weekend bet.
Why?
That's true.
Why do I see myself in the Zoom call? That's new.
Maybe because of my virtual camera. Should I turn off virtual?
No, it doesn't matter to me.
Okay.
Okay, so.
All right, here we go.
Do you see my screen?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So $1,600 bankroll. Odds offered are, what was it, for what?
I'm guessing, I don't know. I think it was like a -400 or -500 favorite.
Okay, so we'll say.
Wasn't
we'll
it
say
50 to
4-1.
win 17?
Yeah, so
wouldn't that be -300?
Yes.
Oh, okay, -300. Sure.
Okay, so 3-1. All right, so 3-1. Your estimated probability of winning
Flashes all in.
75%.
All in.
Bet must be multiples of. Yeah, sure, $1. Actually, let's do. What's 1%? $16. Okay, so
Yes.
yeah, let's do multiples of $5. For simplicity's sake, the minimum bet allowed is say $5, and we'll calculate. According to Kelly Criteria, you can risk 66.67% of your bankroll.
So 1,600 times 0.6667.
$1,065.
Yep. You should go harder than $50.
And that's
I'm still going to challenge that. I don't know who to speak to, but I'm telling you, like,
You got to talk to Kelly, bro.
I
wanna
would
see-
think that as
Kelly,
like
I want to see your
someone,
manager.
someone who's paying their bills every year goes, "Hey, I'm going to put 60% of my entire bankroll on one thing."
Well, the reason why
seems
why
like
it's
the
so high is
craziest
because
thing in
you're-
the world.
because
what,
you're
do you, what do you mean? That's literally what people did on Mayweather.
Okay, but that's an anomaly. I'm talking about like day in and day out. This is someone's living. Like, I don't think they would ever put 60% of their entire bankroll.
No,
on anything.
of course not. So Kelly Criteria just tells you what your risk tolerance is. It doesn't tell you your risk of ruin. Like, of course, your risk of ruin is incredibly high. That's a different calculation. All this is basically saying is that
In this instance.
right, you can comfortably take on this level of risk without having to worry about the asymmetric downside.
All right.
So it's like a 1 of 1. Like it's an N of 1, I think. At least that's my understanding of Kelly.
Yeah, like
maybe
if you
I
did a
have
risk
little
of
bit
ruin
mistaken.
calculation, it wouldn't say bet 66% of your bankroll.
Right.
I thought for
Right.
sure I was going to win this time.
Mm.
I was going to dunk on you, Burke, and it didn't work out.
It's okay.
We do have Mr. Goone back, though.
Okay.
Okay.
We're here.
He's here. So,
God.
Can you turn off your sharing your screen?
oh yeah, maybe. How do
I don't see him, but I hear him.
This is on me. I got the Zoom up. God, Zoom is so obnoxious. There we go. Stop share.
All right, let's
Now
see.
we'll get out of there. Leave meeting. Okay.
Voila.
All right. Let me properly introduce you since the last thing I said was you were pooping.
Thank you.
You guys probably know him, maybe a little bit from HCL. Did some commentary there, played there on occasion. I know him even more so from the wonderful Instagram ads I get. I have to tell you, as somebody who's been very against social media marketing because I don't know what the fuck I'm doing, you do a fantastic job. You are the owner and operator of Hungry Horse. Is it Hungry Horse Poker?
Co-owner, yes.
Okay. Which is a coaching site, former stable, I believe. And you're embarking upon a challenge that I actually threw out to Guapo, ironically enough, where you're going to attempt to make $100 an hour at 5.5 no limit in LA. Is that all pretty accurate?
That's very accurate, yeah.
All right. Welcome to the show, Marc Goone.
Hey, guys. Are you guys all in one place? How does this work? You guys in the same room?
Yeah. We're all in a studio.
Wow, that's
Is
pretty
the perpetrator in this room right
Is there
now?
like a magic guy like pressing the buttons behind
That's
his like,
Guapo. Yeah.
Oh,
He also knows how the
He's got
sound works.
the magic machine. Look at that.
That's
That looks
right.
so nice. I need one of those.
Yeah.
Brother, you got to get out here. We got to have you actually physically in studio at some point in time.
Yeah, I would love it. Next time I'm in Vegas. I go to Vegas once a year, usually. I don't know.
Okay, let's start there then. How do you only come here once a year if you are a professional cash game grinder? The games are fucking good.
The games are good.
The games are good. Not $100 an hour good.
You know, I hear this all the time from poker players. They're like, I'm going to move to Vegas to play poker. And my response to that is just like, why? Why are you moving to Vegas? You could move anywhere else. The games are better anywhere else. You can move to like Zimbabwe and probably have a better cash game there.
Ain't wrong.
Well, I think that it goes both. It cuts both ways. I think there's some upside. The cost of living here is relatively low. The amount of volume that you can get in, as far as like game selection goes, is relatively high. And you're stone's throw away from LA. You're a short flight away from Texas. Even Reno, if you want to like venture north and have a little bit of time in the mountains, isn't all that difficult to get to. I would imagine that like as far as bang for your buck goes, like factoring in cost of living as well as like earning potential, Vegas is probably like a top 3 destination.
Texas, Florida.
Yeah, 1 and 2.
Chicago.
Chicago. You're so capped though, no?
Philadelphia.
So Philly is, yes, but the pool is very, very, very small. Like with Texas and what was the other one you mentioned? Florida. There's a lot of foot traffic. Yeah. But more specifically, South Florida, I think, is really booming. With both of those stops, the foot traffic is really high. Same thing with LA. Now LA, you're paying like an absorbent rake and life tax being there, I guess. But with like, I think it's Sugar House in Philly. Is that where they run the 10-10 every Tuesdays and stuff like that? Or no, Parks. It's Parks. Sorry.
Parks,
Yeah. It's a really small pool, so you don't get a lot of traffic. But what you do get is the ability to scale. Every Tuesday there are bigger games. They now have a semi-private game, I believe, that runs pretty routinely. It's like 100, 200. Not the softest, but also not a game you would avoid if you're a winning cash player. So I think those are very fair comparisons.
Yeah, I don't know. Every time I've played in Vegas, I've been upset.
Go on.
You know, the first time I played cash in Vegas, this was back when I was still playing a lot of volume, like 1,500 plus hours a year. And this was like 2019 or something when I had first moved up to like 510 and 1020. And I sat in a Bellagio 510 game. And one of the players told me that he ran a linear regression analysis that it cost him $4 an hour when the dealer had to make change for a $35 open instead of a $30 open, and that he would pay my time if I stopped opening to 35. And I knew I was probably not in the best game.
Honestly, that guy's the hero we don't deserve. Get your fucking $5 chips off of my 510 game.
Well, listen, it's different in LA. We don't have that in LA. That's not. We don't have the $10 chips. I didn't know.
Yeah. Yeah, you're right. The cultures are very different, right? LA kind of has like the limit mentality to everything, where the chip denominations are always smallest. Where Vegas kind of has the the larger denomination in most of the games. So one is like to make the pots look physically bigger. The other one is, for ease because dealers aren't the best, and cutting out fucking $2,000 worth of $5 chips is the worst experience on the planet.
Linear regression analysis, man. I don't know.
Yeah, that would have honestly, that would have just made me think he was a shit rag.
Yeah. Well.
All right. So while we're talking about you first coming to Vegas and things along those lines, let's get a little bit of your backstory, because I'm sure people in the audience might be even more familiar with you than those of us in this room. You first came onto my radar maybe post-COVID. So I guess like 2021-ish, 2022, whenever you were doing commentary for Hustler. Despite what people believe, I didn't throw shade at the commentary at Hustler, and I actually thought you did a wonderful job. In spite of pretty limited hours in the booth. I don't think you were in there very much, right?
I didn't like doing it.
Go on.
I didn't really enjoy doing commentary. I thought I would enjoy it, but I didn't really like it. It wasn't for me.
What about it was off-putting?
I wouldn't really say off-putting. I didn't enjoy being in a room by myself for 5 hours just talking about poker into the void. And
you did it solo?
Yeah.
Yeah, mostly solo.
That's
I enjoyed it when I could do it with somebody. That was fun. But by yourself in a room for 5 hours, man, it's kind of miserable. So
Matt, you just recently did that, right? Were you by yourself or were you co-hosting?
No, I was with Ali Najad, which for what it's worth, if you have any interest in doing commentary in the future, I would definitely recommend you. And working with a guy like Ali is second to none. He's just absolutely the fucking best.
Yeah.
What got you to that point of commentary though? Because I imagine prior to playing on HCL, actually doing the commentary and things like that, you were on your come up.
I wanted to play bigger games, and my way of getting access into the bigger games was to do commentary, basically.
Interesting. Okay, so that was kind of like the value exchange. Like, if I can demonstrate that I work well on the mic, I'm personable, then I can offer something to the game. How'd that go?
Yeah, I mean, it went fine. I got to play. It was a pretty fair bargain, I think. I didn't really enjoy doing a ton of the commentary, so I just kind of did less and less of it over time. So
did you ultimately then transition off of playing that game and then into coaching, or was it more of a necessity?
That was the pivot. It's basically because the biggest game in LA is basically the biggest public game in LA in a casino is the Commerce kind of 10, 20, 40 game that runs consistently.
Yeah.
And I was playing that game. I was playing kind of a 10, 20, 40 game that was going at Hustler that was kind of under the radar. But like there were no bigger games than that. And I had done that already for 2 or 3 years and I was ready to play bigger. And I didn't see a way to move up. It wasn't really even about the money. It was just like, I want to progress because I started at 1-2 in St. Louis, moved to 5-5 in LA, then 5-10, 10-20, whatever. And there wasn't a way to go up. And so my options were kind of, play more private games, go into tournaments, or do something else within poker. And kind of dipped my toes into the private game waters and hated it. And I'd rather stick a catheter in my pee hole than play MTTs. So left me with option number 3.
Yeah, we share our disdain for MTTs. I also feel the same.
Hey man, sometimes you get money back.
just what I'm fucking looking for. A bunch of hours at the table where I might get a rebate.
Yeah.
I'm the whale.
Yeah. Best case scenario is you play like 35 hours and you make like $1,400. It's great.
Yeah, it feels good. It's a nice bankroll booster though when you're starting. Like I understand the appeal when you're first getting in. It's fixed risk. You can potentially rip off a 6-figure score, and it's like if you have 10K to your name and you can suddenly have 100, the world is your oyster.
Yeah,
Nothing like being 25 rich.
That's one can only imagine. I wouldn't have known.
I'm imagining.
How old are you, Mark? I guess I didn't even ask that.
I'm 47.
No way. That's a bluff.
I was born. Well, I mean, I graduated in high school in '96.
No, that's a bluff.
Yeah, no way.
Okay. Well, I mean, it's close.
10 years off?
He's 46.
I once
just give us an answer.
Once lost a $2,000 bet on my age, and I felt bad about it afterwards.
Because you're actually that old?
Well, I had been telling them I was a certain age for 4 or 5 years, and they were just convinced. And then someone took my ID, and I was not that age, and they lost $2,000.
Oh man. Okay. All right. So we'll stick a pin in the age conversation. I don't want to.
You don't want to make anyone lose any more bets.
Yeah, I don't want to ruin your hustle here. All right, so let's talk then. What took you down the path of coaching Hungry Horse Poker, and now this $100 an hour challenge? Yeah. What was your first instance of dipping your toe into the coaching waters?
I had 2 players that I was coaching and staking, just like friends who wanted to start playing bigger. And they were playing like 5-5, and I was coaching and staking them, and they both moved up to 5-10 and 10-20 pretty quickly. Had success with those 2 guys. And then I met Gethin Jacobs, who is now my business partner at Hungry Horse, and I met him because he actually DM'd me about a hand I played on Hustler against a reg, and he's like, "Hey man, you blundered. You played this hand horribly," and we had never spoken before. And I was like, "I agree. Yeah, you're right.
lead.
I did play this horribly." And we became friends, and so we kind of started coaching and staking people together. And then we realized after about 2 years that wasn't a very good business to be in.
Yeah, but to play devil's advocate, it scales. And I know we've had some private conversations about this. What are your feelings about scaling the coaching side of things?
The coaching or the staking?
The coaching, because like that's my only counter to the like I don't think staking is a good business to be in either, but it's scalable is the only real upside that I can see. You're constantly dealing with risk management. You have to cut people loose. You have to eat losses and all these other things. But the point is that there are enough people who are winning players that need funding that you can keep up with the churn. And you can keep a relatively robust stable beneath you to cut down the variance just through sheer volume. The downside to that is obviously all the risks that you take on. It's super capital intensive, and people who just suck at like being accountable, like learning, getting better, all the things in between.
CFPs are a little different than this though.
Where
like you're just taking a base % of profit and you're not giving them any money. That's scalable.
Yeah,
like that's what BitB is.
Yeah, but it's sorry, I don't want to play the but game, but I mean they're online, so it's like way more of a controllable scenario. I assume, correct me if I'm wrong, Mark, but you were probably just like coaching for profit, but also their backer.
Yes, yeah, especially like if you want guys to play bigger,
right?
Most guys just need a bankroll.
Yeah, especially in the live world, right? Like. I'm just throwing a ballpark number out there, but if I had to guess, and this is going to make Guapo's asshole pucker a little bit, but I would assume from 1-3 up to 10-20, 75% of the pool is underrolled, maybe slightly less, maybe like 66%.
I agree strongly.
Yeah.
Maybe more.
Which is why bluffing is good.
Yes.
Yeah. That's right.
You want to be a redliner. It's because the money matters to everybody.
Hashtag bluff for rent.
Yeah, I think it kind of might be hard for it to be more because there's enough recreational money in there.
I guess from the reg side, I was mostly talking. I'm sure you're talking about that.
If we partition it to people playing for a living,
right? People playing for a living with no substantiated income that's not just poker,
right? Then yeah, it might actually be more. Yeah, which is really wild to think about.
Because like you need money in the first place, but where do you get it?
Right.
Unless you start with a job and then move to poker.
Yeah. And
very few people do that.
Yeah. I don't know, man. Like I was passing Monster energy drinks out of the back of a truck, saved up 4,000, played 1-2, turned it into 10, played 2-5, turned it into whatever. And
hold up, we made $4,000 passing out Monster energy drinks.
Yeah, this might be over the course of 6 to 8 months or a year. Yeah.
This might be the business model.
Yeah, professional monster hustler.
Can we scale this? I mean, there's a lot of college kids out there who do a lot for $4,000.
How do we do that with Ghost?
Right. Now we're talking.
You could sell it to us even. We'll keep you afloat for a year, that's for sure.
Okay, so sorry, go ahead. Were you gonna say something?
No.
I didn't mean to cut you off.
Can I tell you something though?
Please do.
5 years ago, I accidentally sent you an email.
Okay.
That said, I was trying to watch the Solve for Why TV, and I accidentally signed up for the wrong thing.
Okay.
And I sent you an email and it said, why are you signing up for this? And I just said, I just want to see if Berkey is on crack. And you responded and you said, no, I'm not on crack. And I think that was the first time we ever spoke.
I mean, does Ghost count?
I'm glad.
Amazing.
I'm glad you remember that interaction. Listen, 5 years ago, I had my hands in everything. The manager has since taken over.
Right. Yeah.
So you would get more of an automated response now. Did you come to a conclusion? Were you able to watch anything and decide?
Was he on crack or not?
Yeah, at the time I thought you were on crack, because at the time I had this like very narrow idea in my head of like what good poker looked like, and I'm like, this guy doesn't play good poker.
Yeah.
For what it's worth, I manage a lot of the emails that come in. We still get emails just like that.
I learned though. I have evolved.
Yeah.
Okay, tell me more about that. Because I think the vast majority of people, both watching and listening at home, would agree with your original assessment.
Crack guy.
So many people are obsessed with, I don't know when this started, but like even like trying recreational players, they're all just obsessed with this idea of like what good poker looks like without understanding that what the other side of the coin is that the best exploit poker is also the best GTO poker. And they're so obsessed with like, well, what if my bluffs and value aren't the same size? Well, Herman in seat 7 just potted it on the flop into 6 people. I don't think you need to find enough bluffs here when you check raise them, right?
Right. Yeah.
Herman probably has a good hand.
Yeah.
So you probably want a better hand.
Yeah.
That's GTO for you.
Yeah. Somebody actually posed a similar question to this in Twitter on the thread, and they said, from what I understand about Solve for Why, you guys would subscribe to a pretty balanced approach. So let's say that you had strong hands and draws on the turn, and you were looking for a sizing, you would often just choose the SPR is 4, you would choose GO2 and bet pot twice. But Marc subscribes to more of an exploitative approach where he would bet like 2/3 pot on the turn because he thinks it'll get called too often, and then pot and a half jam river because he thinks they'll fold too often. And my reply to that was that I also think similarly to you. The only thing that I think I've come around on a little bit more is not being quite so confident in my ability to estimate what the frequencies actually are of the call on the turn and the fold on the river. But either way, I think both strategies just probably make close to the same amount of money.
Yeah, I'm wrong all the time. I just think I'm surprised how wrong I am, even in this 5-5 challenge. But like, I'm more confident, I think, in assuming that you make more money when you assume that everybody is terrible until proven otherwise.
Yes.
I really strongly believe that.
Love that philosophy. Something that, it's funny. We've come a really long way in the last 8 years since we started Solve for Why, but like a lot of the things that you're speaking to were the core principles that we began on. It's like our very first academy was 2016, and literally it was just an approach of everybody at the table is scared money, and it does not matter at all what your cards are. Maybe not at all, but it doesn't matter that much what your cards are or how balanced you are in your approach. If you just keep that idea in mind that they're scared money and they're going to find folds with hands that are meant to continue, you just keep blasting money in the pot until they give up. And if they ever fight back, like just know they're nutted and you kind of pass. The game, I think, has evolved a bit since then. And we too have evolved like our teaching tactics, but you're in the streets, like you're playing these 5-5 games pretty regularly. How much do you think it's changed since your original come up in like 2017, 2018?
Everybody's trying harder, and there are way less like typical fish. I think like a lot of the guys who are just like hopeless, who like are never who win like one session a month, like those guys who play 10 times a month and win 1 out of 10 sessions, like those guys have all been scooped up by either streams or private games, and there's just not that many of them left, I think, even at like the 5-5 level. So what I see is just a lot more trying Rex. But I'll tell you this, like the games they're really, really, really beatable and really, really soft. And I think as long as Rake doesn't get to a level where it's like you're playing in Australia or something, live poker's going to be good. Live poker's going to be beatable.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that. What like caused you to take on this challenge? Is this part of the pivot out of staking and more into coaching?
Yeah, so we've been doing coaching for the last 2 years or so, and we've been running live poker boot camps, which are online, but for live poker for the last 13 months. And so a lot of our customers play 5-5 or 5-10, so or 2-5. And so I wanted to play the games. I thought it was kind of silly for me to be sitting here, you know, like playing 5100 on Hustler and saying this works in your games. Like I want to prove, like I want to actually be able to like walk the walk. Like I haven't played these games in 6 years, so I want to like, let's go in and like test the stuff before, like test the stuff that we're saying works and prove it works.
Have you played much of 5-5 recently? And if so, how much has it changed since 6 years ago?
I've played about 250 hours over the last 3 months or so.
It's a lot.
And yeah, I mean it's changed, but it hasn't changed a ton. Like people are better pre-flop. They make better decisions pre-flop. People 3-bet a little bit more. People are much more willing to bet fold. But besides that, like people like to fold now. People don't like to call down for 200 big blinds when they have top pair.
Yeah, I was gonna get to that, where when you say that people are trying harder, it seems like they're more aware of how much money is going in. Where in the past, it's like, oh, I have a really good hand and this feels like top of range. I'm going to put the money in because that's what you do. Where now it's like, oh, I don't need to put in that much money when they're betting this much anymore.
Yeah, I think people have just like pattern recognition. People have played poker a while and they're like, when all the money goes in, people have it generally. And so like the meta has kind of evolved where people are over folding a little bit because the pool is under bluffing. So the pool is just the way to beat the pool, in my opinion, is to overfold and overbluff.
Yeah, I agree. Which is it's kind of at odds, because I think that you're right that that's ultimately the best strategy. The problem in teaching that to people that either are like a blank slate or already have preconditions to being just one of the many that are a part of the pool is that they're already conditioned to under bluff and overfold. And what that leads to is a lot of passive decisions. And since they're almost always in the passive tree, the overfold is punished so much more now. So you almost have to like condition them out of the overfold in order to get them into the overbluffing to bring them back to the overfold.
Yeah, I see what you're saying. I do.
It's a little bit confusing, but like we do a lot of these hand histories from like low stakes when we do the in the muck section. And, you know, I'm a broken record where I'm like, you just have to pay, because they're looking for ways out with like a fairly nutted hand. You know, they flopped the straight and the board paired on the river and a guy jammed. They're just like, oh, he always has full house, and they just muck. And it's like, you have to build some tolerance to paying and losing, you know, because like that's just a part of poker. And if you're unwilling to pay and lose, then you're certainly going to be unwilling to bluff and lose. The feelings are very similar, you know, it's out of your control at that point, and you feel like you're just guessing in some capacity. But it's really hard to hold that dual philosophy that you're speaking of, where it's like, okay, well, I have to overfold to aggression, but also I have to over-aggress anytime I'm given the opportunity to. And truly, I do think, not just at these levels, like, I think that's a maximum for live poker from 1-3 all the way up to the fucking nosebleeds, regardless of, like, the pool that you're playing in, unless it's, you know, GG 100K NL online, something like that.
The funny thing is that by being super aggressive, people are even more predictable, and they're like, I'm going to wait to get you. And then when they have a good hand, they spring the trap by check raising you. And so they just never have any good hands when they check call flop, check call turn, if the nuts don't change on the river. So it's, it almost makes it easier when you are more aggressive, because they're scared to just check call with their good hands, even though logically it doesn't, you know, they should just let you blast off.
Exactly. It's pretty crazy to like hear this, or to have this conversation, I guess, in 2024. I mean, Brian can attest to this. He's been playing with me since day one, but all the way back in 2008 when we moved out here and I started cutting my teeth at the 510 uncapped game at the Venetian and really butting heads with one of the local regs that I thought was like the toughest in the world to play with. Ultimately turned out to be DJAF Billy. The thing we always spoke about, and we've been speaking about for 20 odd years now, is that you can just put as much money in the pot as you want, however you see fit, with value and bluff, and you'll just run these people over in a metaphorical sense, right? Like, obviously you can't just like blindly do it. You can't have an infinite range and just blast off for 3 streets. But like, if you're methodical about it, if you're thoughtful and you're doing it in some sort of strategic way, the pool as a whole just buckles. Like, they just don't know how to play defensive nodes because they refuse to study it. Most people want to study what's most comfortable, which is, I have top pair. How am I going to get the maximum? I flop the set. How do I stack this guy, right? So they look at it through their own personal aggressive lens, but it's exactly what you just said. It's the only time they aggress is when they're top of range. So you just beat them over the head with a club until they start to fight back, and then you back off. And here we are now, 2024, talking about the mid stakes with you, where you're 250 hours in. I assume you're planning on playing at least 1,000 to prove your point. And it's the same methodology, you know?
Yeah.
It's just make them bend to your will. And the second that they think they sprung the trap, you just go, whatever. I guess these trips are no good. And you put them in the muck.
I'm not going to play 1,000. I would probably shoot myself in the head.
We need a sample, Mark. 500?
I know, like, I don't care about the sample anymore. Yeah. I'm like, I'm gonna do 300, I think, and then I'm done, because it's enough. And I know it's going to be like, whatever the hourly is going to be, people are going to be like, well, 300 hours doesn't matter. And the point is not that the sample is representative. The point is, like, this stuff works. Being aggressive works. Right. And bluffing works, and overfolding works, and I don't really care about what the final number is.
Man, it's interesting just in the sense of, when sample is so low as is, it's hard to make necessary conclusions of what is and isn't true. But something that you know, as someone that plays in all of the spots or has all of the decision points, you can sort of feel out for yourself how well you're doing. You know, like, you play enough live poker at these stakes and you realize, okay, I've played 20 sessions at this point, and I've had these amount of spots where I've been able to get a check raise all in versus someone that's probably not going to fold their value hand. And you feel this way, get the results you want. Feel this way, get the results you want. At some point, it's not just bias. Does that make sense?
Yeah, you see a lot in 250 hours. And I know it's not big enough to say, like, yeah, it's not near big enough to say, like, this hourly is doable, but you see a lot in those hours. And from showdowns, I think you can, especially when people are deviating so far from what, like, a baseline would look like, you can come to conclusions much quicker.
Yeah, I think that, I think, like, one of the bigger takeaways there is that in live, you're never really going to get a big enough sample that's consistent, right? Like, the pool is going to continually churn and change. So even like my sample is probably as close as a reliable one as I've ever had in my career. I've been playing the same game for like 2 years. It's roughly going on 3,000 hours. It's like, that's probably a pretty stable win rate, especially since it's been relatively consistent from hour 10 through hour 3,000. But even still, it's just like, I think what Landon's talking about is so much more important, because when you can't get the true volume, right? Like, when we can't really test the extremes and know what, like, a bottom 5% run looks like, top 5%, whatever. What you can do, what is measurable, what's tangible, is the amount of areas or the amount of situations you find yourself in that are very negligible EV. Right? How often are you put into a 0 EV spot? How often are you put into a negative EV spot or a slightly winning spot? Session over session, week over week, month over month, year over year. And it's like, I don't want to speak for you, but truly, if I'm being completely honest, it's like less than once a session, right?
Yeah.
It's maybe less than 100 times a year.
when I was during like late COVID, like I was just grinding Ignition really hard, and it was like, oh, I have like 6 really hard spots an hour.
Right, precisely. And that's what I don't think people understand, right? It's like when I play an online Sunday, which I don't even take all that seriously, I'll leave with like a dozen hands that I want to look up and study afterwards. I might go a month without truly having a spot I want to look at from playing live.
Yeah, it's very different. People just, you don't really get put in spots. But I think the cool part about live poker is that because there are so many variables, unlike online where you're playing 100 big blinds, I think online at 100 big blinds, it's very technical, I would say, where it's about being precise. It's about finding the right frequencies. Whereas 200, 300 big blind live poker, like there is so much shit going. Like say there's one player at the table who is a decent winning player who's playing for a living, right? They may be winning 7, 8 big blinds an hour or whatever. And you have 6 people behind you who can't even breathe out of their mouth or breathe out of their nose. Well, this guy opens under the gun. You're an EP with pocket queens. Like all of a sudden it's already interesting, like what you do with a hand like that, because you've got 2 guys in the blinds who may just punt off 300 bigs, like with top pair. To me, because the game tree is just, it's so much more complex live, I feel like, than online.
Yeah, there's a lot of fucking around and finding out. Like street poker is real. Freestyling is so valuable if you have a well trained like subconscious almost. You know, the unconscious learning that kind of takes place from observing, from pattern recognition, things that you can't really articulate, but you just have a high degree of confidence in. The amount of like light forebetting that takes place super deep, where you have no clue if this is even a thing when you're 1,000 big blinds effective. But like, you just know this guy fucks around too much. You've seen too much ace jack off 3-bet call, you know, just like something just triggers that you can key in on where you're like, I'm not sure, but I think I'll make money doing this. I love that about live poker so much. And I think we're finally getting to a point where we're just letting the two worlds reside on their own. It's like, you know what? We're just not going to compare the Linus Loves and the Barons of the world to the Garrett Adelsteins and, you know, whoever else is out doing the dirty work in the live streets, because they're just not the same. And the earning potential is not the same. The skill set's not the same. The style of play doesn't. And, you know, going back to what you said initially, like, it's not going to look the same. Your brand of good poker is going to look incredibly different in these two arenas.
Yeah, one other thing I always tell people, ask me all the time, they're like, well, what if people adjust? What about your image? What if people adjust to you? And I'm like, this is like 37th on my list of concerns, because when you're playing live poker, like I strongly feel like everybody is like the hero, and that's why you say in like a hand history, it's the hero. Everybody is the hero or the star of their own story, and like I feel like it's 100 times more important. Like, what has happened to the person you're playing a hand against? What has happened to them? What are they thinking? What are they doing? What you're doing isn't important. Like, so many people are caught up in like, well, I need to do this with the... No, you don't. You need to worry about what Ernie is thinking right now, because he just got shown a bluff 3 hands ago and now he's in a calling mood. Like, it's so much more important what they are thinking rather than, oh, I have this combo in my hand, so I should... Who cares? It doesn't matter.
Yeah, I agree with that pretty heavily. I think what you're speaking to that a lot of people don't understand is that if you get into an arena where most of the players are untrained, they don't have anything to default to but emotion. So the mood that they're in, so to speak, is largely going to dictate their frequencies. Middle pair might be a hand they just get sticky with for 3 streets if they're in a fuck you mood. Or middle pair might be a hand that they fold on the flop to a 3/4 size c-bet, you know? And that unpredictability is where so much of the win rate comes from live, but it's also where so much of the variance comes from live. You know, you can be against the same opponent that you've been playing against for years, and you can run a spot that you've ran against him 100 times, and like this time he just says enough's enough. And you have to live with the fact that you just torched off 300 blinds in a spot that has otherwise been pretty reliable.
Can I ask you something?
Yeah.
Have you ever kissed anybody at the poker table?
No. Have you?
Yes, 4.
Okay.
But I know there's somebody right now in this podcast who also has kissed somebody at the poker table. So I'll just throw that out there, and then we can get back to poker strategy.
Who has done it? Was it Landon? Was it
Yes.
Guapo?
Probably
No, it's
Guapo.
Landon, who did
Landon.
you kiss?
I don't
Yeah.
know what he's talking about, man. We just make jokes with each other about this and like cockroaches, but that's about it.
Who?
Well,
What do you know? Who do you know?
I'm not gonna say if he wants to talk about it, he can.
I
at a
have
later
no
date.
idea what he's talking about.
No, we're talking about it.
I'm so serious.
Who did you kiss?
I'm getting gaslit. I would say it if I knew.
I'm here for
It
this.
was at Hustler.
It was well, it definitely wasn't me.
I didn't kiss anybody at Hustler. It might have been like on the hand or something. This wasn't no mouth
On the
kiss.
hand.
No
Were you-
mouth
Were
kiss.
you
kiss.
drinking?
No, I played. What happened was.
See what happened was.
No, I wasn't drinking. What happened was we went to Hustler because you played on Hustler.
Oh yeah.
Remember when I played 5-5-10 or
I
whatever
do.
on the floor?
Yeah.
Yeah, I broke that game.
Right, I remember.
I broke that game. That's what he's talking about.
Oh,
I didn't kiss anybody
But
there.
who'd you kiss in the process?
Nobody.
Mark.
Mark has.
He's got some
Other
insider
thoughts.
info.
Yeah, what do you know, Mark?
Was it Vertucci?
Hey, he came on to me, man.
Did he put
There's a
button
power
here?
dynamic there. You know, I kind of wanted seats. My back was against the wall, dude.
Oh man.
All right, we can move on.
You don't have thoughts?
Any thoughts, Mark?
Were you ever diddled for a seat?
Thoughts on what?
Vertucci. Did he
Oh,
ever
no,
send you orange emojis?
Listen, I have no opinion. Listen, I feel like the problem is that I don't have an opinion on this because, except my opinion is obviously like the sexual assault, sexual abuse, like none of this shit. I don't condone any of it, obviously, but like I don't need to have an opinion on it. No one gives a shit what Marc Goone's opinion on this thing is. Like I don't need to shout into the void, right?
I will say that that's a good stance to have and one that I miss.
No.
Believe it or not, there was.
But people look to you like you are like a voice in poker. You are a respected voice in poker. No one cares what I have to say on this, so I'm not going to shout my opinion into the void.
Yeah, I also shoved it down their throat. You know, they they kind of just have to listen at
Relax,
this
Nick.
point. Okay, Jesus Christ. Man. So Hungry Horse. Where'd you come up with the name?
Hungry for what?
Well, it was because of it was a stable, so
Right.
You know, horses,
Right.
and then it
You
was
need
kind of
horses
like
are
hungry,
hungry. Gotta feed them.
hungry hippo.
Yeah.
Hungry horse. Oh yeah, that. And now we're like, wow, that was a silly choice we chose for a business that's growing very quickly, but it seems to be fine.
Are you enjoying the process of growing a business?
I love it so much. I'm obsessed. Like I'm having so much more fun, which is why like I don't really enjoy going to have to play poker 2 days a week. I'm like I want to do more of the business stuff. I want to work on the business. I want to make content. Like I love it. Like I'm obsessed.
Okay, talk to me more about that because I'm no longer obsessed, and I would love to hear more of like what your progress is, what your roadmap looks like, what you guys have in store, things of that nature.
I just like the content, like figuring out YouTube, figuring out Instagram. It's been like my obsession over the last year, and it's super rewarding because everything kind of lags. Like you have like this like revelation, like, ooh, I know this will work, and like the results lag like 6 months behind when stuff finally clicks. But it's really cool because like I just feel like the ceiling is uncapped, whereas in poker it's hard capped, and so I'm just like I'm really enjoying the process. And I these days like I enjoy talking about poker more than playing poker, I think.
Yeah. Do you find that it helps your actual strategy and ability to execute?
A ton, because my thoughts are just much more clear and cohesive because I've explained this spot 20 different times before and I've spent a lot of time. I feel like if you can explain something very simply, you really, really understand it.
Yeah.
And my goal with all the videos is to be able to like explain like I'm to a 5-year-old like why this makes sense.
Yeah, your content's great. For anybody who hasn't checked it out, Hungry Horse Poker on YouTube. I think it's like really digestible. I think you're spot on. Like you do a good job of simplifying things. I wonder, or I guess that's the question that's next. Like, how much longer do you do this for free? Are you exploring the subscription model? I mean, I know we talked a little bit about this. And if you want any unsolicited advice, don't. It's just everything that's rewarding to you now disappears very quickly. The submodel is just like really fucking hard, especially in a tiny niche community. You know, you want something that is casting a wide net, can deal with a lot of churn, doesn't require loyalty for years upon years from a massive group. Like you want your core diehards, but the problem is in poker, like a core diehards might be like a couple hundred. And if you're trying to scale something, unfortunately, that's just never going to be enough.
Yeah, so we just decided like really early on that we are not for everybody. And we're not going to go after
I've seen the commercials. Fantastic.
Yeah, they're great.
Thank you. I had to make a lot of those before they weren't horrible. You should have seen like the first 50 of them. They were embarrassing.
Your on-camera presence is very good. Do you have a background in any of this stuff?
My background is music, so I moved to LA actually to pursue, because I was talking to labels. I was meeting with labels to sign as an artist, and so I was like on camera doing music videos and stuff like that. So
how did we end up here?
Well, I moved here for music. And I had a job lined up to pass out more Monster energy drinks transferred over from St. Louis. And my first week here, I played 5-5. I'd been playing 1-2 in St. Louis and decided to take a shot. And things went pretty well the first week. I called the Monster boss and said, hey, I don't need to pass out energy drinks anymore. And then over time, it became less and less music and more poker.
Interesting. Do you regret the transition?
No. I'm actually like I'm really thankful for it. For a long time, I like wouldn't let myself give up music because I didn't see poker as like, I didn't respect it the same way, because my goal was always to, I want to do the artist thing. I want to make it as an artist. And now the whole time I was doing that, I was very unhappy. And now I'm much happier now. I'm just much more content with everything.
That's pretty rewarding. I think it's easy to like get caught up in the finality of something. Like, I had this with baseball. I was just determined to play the MLB, and then it just came to a screeching halt. Like, you just don't get the option at some point where it's just like, all right, well, you graduated college and nobody wants you, so fuck off. And luckily, poker filled that void. But I even still realize that this is the case now. And luckily I have a really great support group around me to kind of remind me that things aren't as doom and gloom as they may feel some of the time. But, you progress through something, and it's like, if you could go back to year one and tell yourself that this is where you'll be X amount of time down the line, like that guy would be doing fucking cartwheels over it. Like if I knew that I was going to get to play the biggest games in the world somewhere down the line and I was going to be financially independent, I would never feel like that was a chore back then. But now it's very easy to get caught up in the day to day and forget that at one point in time, this was a dream that you're actually just getting to realize. And I do think it's kind of a byproduct of the fast paced social media driven world that we live in, where it's like, you always need to be on to the next thing. You need to be pursuing the next thing. And I wonder how much of that you feel, especially since your transition seems to be relatively fast, right? Like it sounds like you started coming up around 2015, 2016, got to high stakes by like 2021, and very quickly pivoted into the coaching, business building type of model. Do you miss the poker aspect of it at all?
No, because I still get to talk about it all the time.
Right.
And I think
so. Yeah, you're like the retired athlete.
Yeah, I'm very happy right now because I feel like, as cliche as this is going to sound, well, first of all, like I really enjoy the content. I feel like I found like my niche. Is it niche?
Either. I think you can go either
or is good.
Niche. Okay, might be.
I think that's a philosophy.
Getting a little liberal there, but okay.
I found my niche. But also, like, as cliche as it's going to sound, like, I enjoy, like, working with someone over the course of several months and them saying, hey, man, we had a horse. Like, we did a video. Like, he was winning $25 an hour at 2.5. And over the last year, he's making over $100 an hour playing 5-10 plus. And like, that feels 10 times better to me than doing it myself in a way.
Yeah, I can understand that. There's some reward to feel like you're contributing. Mm-hmm. I think that's why we do the podcast.
Yeah, you feel like you're giving back something to the poker community.
Yeah. I mean, nice big giant shit burger. Snack on 5 days a week.
But yeah, I'm enjoying it. I'm very happy with it, and my business partner Gethin does a lot of the coaching now, and I focus more on the content and business side. He's a lot more patient than I am. He's much more friendly. I'm kind of an asshole, and I don't have the best patience, so it's kind of the perfect split where he does more of the coaching and I do more of the other stuff.
You're gonna find some students prefer that. They need it. There's like there's this model of like support first, challenge second, and then there's the model of challenge first, support after. And not everybody's the same. Some people, like, I'm the type of guy that I don't need you to coddle me and tell me that the world's full of puppy dogs and rainbows. Like, give me the hard thing out of the gate or stop wasting my time.
I kind of want my hand held.
Really?
Like
he just wants to be loved, man.
Yeah, just a nice, like, I would like Landon to kiss me at the table.
That's what I'm saying, man. You and everybody else.
You want to hold hands, Landon?
It's kind of ironic that that's the way you would prefer to learn, but you're a little bit more fierce whenever you're the teacher.
Yeah, I'm an asshole. I'm gonna be honest. Like, I'm an asshole. I just the guy who went from 25 an hour to 100 plus an hour. Like, every coaching session we had, I just yelled at him and just said, "Stop being a nit. You're horrible at poker and you're a nit." And I just yelled that at him for like 6 months, and then finally it clicked.
God bless. Way to break through. What a moment.
Yeah, I feel like I did a great job.
A couple people like that
that's
at the
all
academy.
I said for 6 months.
Yeah. How much did you pay for that advice? Nothing. I'm just trolling. All right,
do you still eat eggs every day?
Every day, man. Every day. Huh.
Why not? Eggs are great.
How does that work? How many eggs a day do you eat?
When I was eating whole eggs, it was probably like between 6 and 8. Now I'm just eating egg whites, so it's probably closer to like 10 to 12.
You're also eating cottage cheese.
Yeah, well, I was.
He's on an all-white diet.
Every day. Yeah.
I knew I liked you.
Yeah, super
I've
easy,
eaten I've eaten the same food every day for the last 10 years.
When you say the same, you mean like one specific thing? Because like I have a small rotation.
He means a kiss on the mouth, obviously.
Right.
Well, yes. See, Landon's real. Yeah, I mean, I've had 1 pound of ground turkey every day for the last 10 years.
Yeah.
Wow.
Super efficient. I'm with you.
Yeah.
I probably rotate like 3 or 4 things. Like, I'm in my egg phase now.
Egg era.
Yeah, I'm in my egg era. It'll quickly shift into chicken. So I'll eat like boiled chicken and rice pretty much every day until I get sick of it.
That's not good.
Why?
It just doesn't sound. It sounds like it doesn't sound.
Sounds like
good.
ground turkey to me.
Oh no! Listen, don't let me downplay this. It's okay. Let me rephrase it.
It's tasty.
Oh, no.
Let me.
It's chicken and salt. What's the issue?
Let me rephrase it in a way that will get your palate watering here. So I have a little poached chicken breast with a little au jus sauce and a side of white rice.
Is the sauce water that boils it?
No, it's bone broth. But yeah, I mean, it's
chicken flavored bone broth, for what it's worth.
Well, yeah, of course.
It's double chicken and rice.
It's effectively chicken noodle soup that is just like really healthy. You hit all your macros. And you don't have to fight anything. You just get it done.
Yeah, I like
How
that.
different is that than ground turkey?
Yeah, how are you preparing the ground turkey?
How different? What is different?
Okay, so first I put some red pepper flakes and garlic in a pan and get that real nice and hot. We put the turkey in, and on top of the turkey, we get some sriracha, we get some Thai chili sauce, we get some hot peppers.
You're a spicy guy.
It is very spicy.
Is your wife ethnic?
She is German Irish.
Wow.
So that's no.
That's the opposite of what I expected. because that's what I would have guessed you were for what it's worth. And I very much, like I assume she, have the most bland palate. I could not handle what you're describing right now.
That sounds delicious to me. Now, I like the spicy stuff. Like, like if you're going to eat something every single day, at least it has some flavor to
I'm
it.
sweating listening to these ingredients.
Sounds delicious.
It's triple spiced up.
It's good, and like, it's a balance of, does this taste good enough that I can eat it, and also does it make me full, and also does it allow me to have a ton of dessert every day where I don't get fat because I can hit the macros.
Right. Yeah.
What's the dessert though?
Right now, my wife she's real into root beer floats. She's pregnant, and that's been her craving. So we're having root beer floats every night.
Congrats on the kid.
Okay, let me turn you on to something. I just saw this on Instagram.
Oh yes.
Haven't tried it yet, but it seems like it might have a little legs. You go get one of the Fairlife the Fairlife protein shakes.
The 40 grammer.
42 grams. Yeah. I can't remember their like Powerhouse or something.
Was it Muscle Milk?
No. Muscle Milk's trash. Get the Fairlife one. It tastes delicious. Get the vanilla. Tastes like melted ice cream. Not going to lie. And then you get yourself a Coke Zero. You pour that bad boy in there. You mix it up. You got yourself a little protein float.
Oh, I thought you were going to go with the Ninja Creamy.
I don't know.
With the protein ice cream.
That does sound pretty good.
Yeah.
You put the Fairlife.
None of the sugar. The protein.
You put the Fairlife in with like some Oreos, and you
I
get
was
like
gonna say
the
if you want
protein
like
ice cream.
cookie and cream style, you just get the Oreo Coke Zero.
Not until this very second have I ever regretted not taking a wife. But as you described the Ninja Creamy protein ice cream with Oreos, that's something I'd like someone to make for me.
It's unbelievable. Apparently, like Sam and Melissa have had it a bunch. And
yeah, if I came home from a tough day at the B
of listening to Creed in the garage,
right?
Deadlifting
after having my dozen egg whites and rice, and I had a little protein ice cream there waiting for me,
and a kiss on the mouth,
Man, I'd fuck that up.
I'd tear that shit up live. Give me 14 of them right now.
If you have a pound of ground turkey, and I have the 99.1 turkey because I'm insane.
Very lean.
Yeah, so therefore I've had like no fat, I've had no carbs, and so I don't need to have the Fairlife. I can just have like custard, and I'm good.
Yeah, for sure. You're doing whatever you
gotta
do.
find some fat.
You're cooking.
Yeah. We can't have you withering away.
You might need to eat more on us, bro.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, yesterday I got the table going because I asked the table if there should be a weight limit on voting in the presidential election, and they were seriously debating this for like an hour.
That's a good start to having a good game.
Oh man.
Yeah, I love to get them going.
Have you ever considered hosting a podcast?
No, but it seems fun. You guys seem like you have fun, and also it's crazy that you're all in the same room, but you're like in different places in the room. That's wild.
We just have cameras. We just have a lot of cameras.
Mm-hmm. There's no establishing shot, so for him it probably looks like we could just be anywhere
all
in the
different
world.
places, right? Yeah.
I mean, when you go to the far camera, it shows us all in here.
Yeah,
that's true.
We're pretty close to one another. Like I can't quite reach Brian and Landon, but if I had to smack him in the head, you wouldn't notice it.
Landon,
as
not
the
me.
viewer at home.
He knows better.
Oh,
see,
look
look
at that.
Yeah,
That's
see?
a cool
There
room.
we are.
Yeah,
You're cool.
we got our set. I'm over here.
Oh wow, that's a nice room.
You'll have to join us someday.
Yeah,
you would make a
love
good
to.
co-host. Yeah,
I would even come to Vegas for this, and I hate going to Vegas.
There we go.
I'm gonna change your mind on that for what it's worth.
Okay, I mean, I like being in Vegas off of the Strip.
Well, yeah, that's where we're at.
Yeah.
So you're in good shape. Yeah, you're in good hands.
Okay, I like the
Hungry
food. Vegas
Horse
has great
Podcast.
food. It's a great food city.
Right.
It is a good food city. Not that I care, but the steak here is the best, and that's all that really matters to me.
The steak.
The steak.
Okay.
If you're gonna have eggs every day, you gotta switch it up. A little cowhide, if you will.
Cowhide.
That's just like not
Leather.
it.
Not eating leather.
I was gonna eat a shoe in a second.
Right.
I'd eat some leather.
If you
I
go to
had
the wrong steakhouse, it'll taste like leather.
If you add enough spicy stuff on top of it, you won't even know the difference.
I don't want anything to do with the spice. All right, Mark. What do you got in store for us next? When's this challenge coming to an end?
Well, if I can manage not to shoot myself in the head, I'm going to do 300 hours. So hopefully we get there.
How many hours you got
So
now?
you're at 250, right?
I'm at 250. Yeah, I've got like
Are
50
you
hours
winning?
to go.
Are you winning?
Am I win? No, actually, so far I'm negative, but I feel like in the last 50 hours, like I'm hoping for like a turn of variance.
This is a troll. I
Yes.
don't believe this.
No, he's winning a lot.
Yes.
Yeah.
How much are you winning?
Well, that would ruin the surprise.
Okay, that's fair.
Well, can you help us? Are you on track to winning now?
We showed a
I'll just say
screenshot.
this: I was at like 168 an hour or something, and my last 4 sessions, I'm down. Every session I've lost. My last 4.
Okay, that'll regress you
Bring
to
it
the
down
mean
a
a little
little
bit.
bit.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've been
We're gonna have a
smacked
little
in the face.
sweat.
Oh, we got vlogs.
This is session 1 and 2, so he's probably in session 100 by now.
Yeah, we've played a lot of sessions.
You're a vlogger.
I am a vlogger. I have a media pass and everything. I'm real official.
Just incredible.
Yeah,
So
see
there he
that?
is right there, guys. 150
108
after
hours.
108 hours. So he's on track. Well, at least up to this latest. This is the latest one, right, Mark?
Yeah, I think so. I think this was.
Oh wow! So you got a lot in the chamber, huh?
Yeah,
you got
yeah.
100 hours in the chamber, 150 now
yeah.
in the chamber.
Yeah, I like to be prepared. I've learned that I need to have at least like 5 or 6 weeks like built up before I put stuff out.
That's definitely the hardest
pressure.
part about content.
Do you
for
enjoy
sure.
vlogging?
I enjoy everything about it except actually playing 5-5.
Right.
Well, do you think at some point after the challenge is over, you're going to keep up with the vlogs and like play higher and do the same thing?
I do have a challenge that I'm going to do in 2025. I can't talk about all the details yet, but it's going to be 10 times bigger than this challenge. It'll be maybe 50 times bigger than this challenge. It'll go outside the poker world, I believe. I hope. Fingers crossed. It's going to be a big challenge.
Will you come back and talk to us about it whenever it's
In Vegas.
ready to go?
Yes, in Vegas. Yes, because I may be in Vegas for some of it. Hint, hint.
Perfect.
Okay, now we're talking.
Yeah.
Let's do this more often. I enjoy chatting. I think that there are things that we haven't really dived into yet.
Like who I kissed?
Yeah, we still need
Which
to know.
I don't even know
we'll
myself.
leave that for a later date.
I got to. That was a big curveball. I didn't see that one coming.
You're telling me.
Landon doesn't strike me as the kiss him on the mouth type at the table.
Absolutely not.
Yeah.
I'm very discreet with that stuff.
It wasn't on the mouth, but
Right.
Whoa, where was it?
Was he kissing an ass? Perhaps. Is he a bit of an
No.
ass kisser?
no asses, no mouths. But there was let's just call it a smooch.
A little.
Smooch.
Yeah. Okay. I understand.
That makes one of us.
I enjoy. I was a Berkey hater in like 2019. Okay, and I've come all the way around, and I'm like, this is
There's a lot of people in your camp.
yeah. Well, I didn't know him, and
Right.
I'm like,
I'm
this
glad
guy
I didn't have exposure to you whenever that was the case. Otherwise, this might be a little bit more contentious.
Yeah, I mean, I was even
Contentious?
telling people like, this guy's a dummy. And yeah, and then I learned some things. I started talking to you, and I'm like, wow, he's a nice boy, and I like him. And
You know, you're doing the Lord's work. I got to tell you, there are a lot of people out there that are just spreading the gospel of what an idiot I am and making sure that I stay rich. And I appreciate you all for that. You know.
but am I making you broke then?
No. Nobody's. It's too late.
Look.
There's no compliment in the world that could change anyone's mind. At
You
this
either
point.
Yeah.
hate Matt and have no money, or you like Matt and might have some money. That's
Yeah.
where we're at.
Or your dog.
Is that what
Well, your
happens?
dog-
Is like people make money and then they start to like him? I feel like that's what happened to me.
Sometimes, if you're talking about like the people that truly think I couldn't go beat a 1-3 game if my life depended on it, then yes, for those, I would say that's true.
Your track record's pretty good. You know, you're kind of on the right side of history.
Yeah, but it's okay. Just keep the seat warm and open for me, and figure it out on your own. Like,
Man, I really wish there was a way for you or us, I guess, to produce a game where it doesn't have to be like poker out loud. We don't need the thoughts. We just need you playing against a bunch of people that play small stakes poker that think you cannot win.
Yeah.
Just for like a week.
We should try to get
Come
Mark
join me at
Poker Out Loud.
5-5.
Yeah.
buddy, you and me at the same 5-5 game would be a horror show for everybody involved.
It'd be a juicy game.
I think everybody would be. I think the rest of the table would leave.
or win a lot.
They'd all just be sitting back waiting for the nuts to just interject right at the right time as you guys are just battling.
Like, that's the irony, is that this philosophy works so well until somebody does it with you. And then all of a sudden, they're just correct to sit there and fucking wait.
Yeah, you don't run into. I haven't run into too much of that yet at the old 5.5.
No, yeah, you're not going to get too many.
I mean, I'm at the point now where like a reg will sit down and I'll be like, you got to table change, go.
Yeah.
And I'll just look at them until they move. They'll move. They'll actually they just table change now. I tell them to table change and it's like a magic power. Like I wish I could do that at the bigger games. But
yeah, no, you're the Chuck Norris of 5.5 right now.
You got to get out of here.
Like, trust me, buddy, you don't want to deal with this smoke today. Not until you get my left, at least. Mm-hmm. All right, yeah, let's do this again. This can carry on for far too long, and I actually have some content myself I need to make. I got some on second thought to produce. And by the way, if we do another season, would love to have you on Poker Out Loud if that's something that interests you.
Yeah, that gives me an excuse to come to Vegas.
Okay, yeah, we're finding a lot of them, so we'll see you during what the hell's coming up? F1. Yeah.
Huh?
Yeah, see, this is what I'm saying. You LA guys, you're so insulated. You're like, oh, my games are always good. I never have to leave the city. Meanwhile, there's like these massive spectacles that are happening in Vegas. Like, oh, the Super Bowl is literally 200 miles away from you where they gamble. And you guys are like, nah, can't be bothered. Games can't be that good that week.
Why? Why would we leave here?
Because we have all of middle of America traveling exactly to us to just dust off a few thousand for the week.
That's
weekend,
what I call gas
whatever.
Station people.
Yeah. I mean, you're from there, so you're allowed to say those things. Yeah. I'm not, so I cannot.
I'm from St. Louis.
Yeah, I'm technically the Northeast. Conrad's not here to dispute that. Pittsburgh will forever remain in the Northeast as far as I'm concerned. So I think all you Midwesterners are wonderful. You're wonderful people.
And I'm not saying all Midwesterners are gas stations. I'm just saying, like, go to the Midwest and sit at a gas station for 15 minutes and look at the people just hanging out. Those are the people who comment on poker shorts on YouTube. Right. That's what they're doing there in the parking lot.
Yep. Yeah. That's exactly. They're just sitting there like, fuck this guy, man. Hungry horse cock. I'll show you.
Relax.
On that note,
that's
Marc,
not our shtick, man.
Thank you so much for joining us. Really appreciate this. Best of luck on your $100 an hour at 5.5. I'll be looking forward to the vlogs as they come out. Keep us updated on this next challenge that you have coming. Where can people find you for Hungry Horse Poker?
On YouTube. YouTube is the best place, man. I love YouTube. They banned me from my wife. They said my wife was AI, and then they banned us, and I had to have her make a video and say, hey guys, I'm not a robot, and then they put us back. But I love YouTube.
That's
YouTube,
incredible.
Hungry Horse Poker.
Okay. Make sure you like, follow, and subscribe him over on YouTube, Hungry Horse Poker. I believe he's at Marc Goone on Twitter, so give him a like and follow there as well. And yeah, keep in touch. Let's keep following in this. Maybe collab anytime that we can.
Thank you, Marc.
Yes, sir.
We
Thanks,
gotta get
guys.
home Weekend Warrior.
Landon,
No.
keep doing the smooches.
Smoochy boochy.
See you guys.
See you, buddy. Oh man, that was fun.
Yeah, he's great.
Yeah, a lot of meat on that bone.
Mm-hmm.
We could chat for a long time.
Yeah, for sure.
So I've been
back.
You can chat about nothing.
Yeah, well, no, that's what I actually enjoy. I don't care about the industry shit, but I've been talking with him probably for the last 3 months, just going back and forth about like some of the frustrations with building a business, being on that side of things, and it's terrifying to me for him to share the same pain points that we have 7 years in.
Being on crack, being not on crack.
Right, being on crack. Yeah, that comes up every now and again too. But you know, it's just like, how do you make these customers happy that fall into this line? What about the people that you alienate? And you know, how do you reach scale? And it's just like, yeah, I'm glad you're getting in this business because I'm getting out.
Yep.
Happy to pass the baton though. Anything that you can do, would be happy to contribute. I don't think we're gonna do an In the Muck today.
Yeah, we're at 2 hours.
Yeah, it's been a minute, and it got a little hot in here. The AC finally turned off.
See? Thank you.
Right. I hope you guys enjoyed.
Fucking
My Sherpa. It's my Sherpa. I hope you guys enjoyed today's episode. Big shout out to Marc Goone. Appreciate you for coming on. Make sure you give him a like and a follow. If you haven't already, give us a like and a follow. Smash the subscribe button. Always helps improve the
Love
channel.
that animation.
That's right. Big fan of the animation. Don't forget, we are giving away that NAPT Gold Pass, so be sure to head over to our Twitter page at onlyfriends_pod.
Go Birds!
Those clues are up there right now, and anybody who's available to put in a DraftKings same game parlay, I'm not saying I'm sharp, but I'm saying I got a fucking winner.
It's a lot.
Ask Mark to do it for you.
I actually might just do that.
You better now. You yap too much.
Put 1,000 down, win 13K.
Bang.
That's nice.
I would take 5% of that just for the story.
There he is. He's
I don't
coming
believe
around.
you. I'm not coming around, but if I can't take my piece off, it's got to stay on.
He's coming
Steelers, baby,
around,
Steelers.
boys and girls.
I think my parlay is sick, dude.
All right, we're going to be back Monday at noon Pacific. We're going to catch you up on everything that takes
Hopefully
place
I'll be
this
sobered
weekend.
up by then.
That's right, including our Weekend Warrior picks, as well as the next clue in the NAPT Gold Pass giveaway. Thank you guys, as always, for rocking with us. If you haven't already, be sure to head to solveforwhy.io. Check out our subscription site. Don't forget, we do have an academy coming up in mid-November. If you want details to that, hashtag academy in the chat or academy.solveforwhy.io. We'll see you guys all next week. Peace.
Peace.